A viewer asked for an update on some raw hamburger patties that I rehydrated 2 years ago, and they were 2.5 years old at the time. I checked, and on our inventory sheet we still showed that we had one more bag from that same batch, so now it's 4.5 years old. So we're going to get it out and check it and see how it's doing. So they were just the raw hamburger patties. I'll put a picture of it here or something, and we'll give them a check. So it says that it's in bin 10B, so this is 10 front, and behind that is 10B for back, because we haven't relabeled them yet. Okay, so this bin is one that's relatively low, have lots of space to put more things in, which means we've pulled stuff out of this one a lot in the last 4.5 years, or 5 years since we've had them. So we're looking for beef patties, and I don't know how many of them will be in it. This looks like the one right here. Hamburger patties, raw, from 6/18, so these are from June 2018, and it looks like it's the right one. So that's the one we're after. We're going to, it feels like there's about 6 of them in there. We'll give these a look, see how they're doing. We'll put this one back in place. So take this one upstairs and check it out. So I think I'm going to try to rehydrate these with just cold water so we can do some other things with them later. We know from experience that if we rehydrate them and then right away move them, well, let's open this up. Okay, there's 8 of them. Well, I'm going to get a paper towel under these. These are raw, so they need to be treated like raw. So like I'll wash my hands afterwards and everything. So, okay, they look like pieces of cardboard. They have basically no odor. It's extremely light odor. Smells the same as when I put them in there. I remember them having virtually no odor, so that's a good thing. They feel like cardboard, like some kinds of cardboard. Maybe a slightly oily or greasy feel, but I don't know. Doesn't really, I mean, I'm not seeing anything on my fingers. Interesting. Okay, so, well, let's see how this, well, they fit in this bowl. I'm going to go ahead and fill it up, and then I'll put it in a plastic bag and suck the air out to hold them down in the water. But I think, and you could definitely, if you want to cook them, grind them up, you could crumble these up right now. And you can see all the cracks in these. These will fall apart. Because normally when you grill these, you take them out of the freezer, you put them on the grill while they're still frozen. And then they start to cook, and that helps hold them together. If you let them thaw, they'll fall apart. And these, if I rehydrate them, they're going to fall apart. I will not be able to take them out of here whole if I rehydrate them in here in multiple layers. So, and I was kind of thinking of putting them on the grill for some of them, so I better do something different. Otherwise this is not going to work out. Don't go away. So, I'm going to try this. I've got a rimmed baking sheet, and I'm going to use that and try that out. If you're ready, if you want to just use it as ground beef, you could just crumble this up. It's ready to go. But I really want to try having them hold together. I don't think I can get all of them on here. Nope. Okay, well, I'll just do 2 of them in there. So I do know if I use warm water, well, again, I don't want to cook them though. It will rehydrate quickly if I use hot water, but it'll also cook them. Well, okay. All right, so we'll give that a little while to rehydrate so I can put them on the grill in a couple hours. So these other ones, not sure what I'm going to do with it. Maybe I'll move those also, don't know. So, and since these are raw, I'm going to put this in the refrigerator to rehydrate. We'll be back after they're all rehydrated, see what they do with them. I gave these quite a while, about 2 hours in the refrigerator to finish rehydrating. If you rehydrate them with hot water or warm water, of course they will rehydrate quicker, but they'll also cook them, and I was really wanting to grill them. So I'm going to just put some salt and pepper on them and then put them on the grill. The other ones I'm going to cook and crumble and use those for some hamburger helper. Specifically this one. But they worked out fine. I think I'll go ahead and grill 3 of them. Anyway, they all worked fine. Saw no issues with them. Don't know if there's anything more to say about them. If there is, I'll come back. Otherwise, that's it for these. They're hamburger patties. What can you tell? Or what can I say? They're 20% fat. They're a 2080 hamburger patty. I can link the video where we made these. Oh, no, I can't. I can link another video about them, maybe, because we made these 4.5 years ago. It's before I really started doing any videos, so I probably don't have any of those. Okay, so I'm going to just add a bit of salt and pepper and get those out there. So at very minimum, we'll come back and taste test one of these for sure. Okay, they didn't fall apart all the way. This one broke apart part way, but they stayed together. They're quite tasty. 3 of them in there and just crumbling them up. And get the other 2 that were in the bowls. And if I'd known I was going to use it for this, I could have just crumbled it while it was still dry. It's extremely easy to crumble when it's dry. It turned out we didn't have enough milk to make the recipe, so we had to use some freeze-dried milk. I guess I could get some freeze-dried milk real quick, because that would be, especially in cooking, it would be just fine, and it doesn't have to be rehydrated that long, and it's going to get heated. I guess I should go find some. I need to mark hamburger off of the list because I got this one, the 4.5-year-old stuff. And we could drain the fat off if we want. Even though it was freeze-dried, this was all locked up in there and caused no issue. Good as can be still. Now, I've got to go to the freeze dryer shelf and get some mushrooms and milk because we need more milk for this and we might as well get mushrooms too. Both of those rehydrate extremely fast. They'll be great for this. After some mushrooms from 9F, which is of course 9 front, because we haven't relabeled them, and also some milk from 18F. So 18F, that's this one here. And I'm looking for, on mushrooms we only have one, so that's easy. So on 18F I'm looking for milk, and I'm looking for one from May of 2019. So that's the oldest milk that we currently have. Anything older than that we've already used. Nacho cheese sauce, pie filling, and it's probably, unfortunately, it's near the bottom. 2 packs, both from May of 2019. Right, now the mushrooms. From 9 front, we're looking for some mushrooms. Okay. Oh, it was just some stems and bits and things that we had. It was probably left over when we made a different dish. Okay. Got the milk and mushrooms. Now back to cooking. And we're going to rehydrate these few little bits of mushroom stems that we saved from some other recipe and use those in this hamburger helper. So I'm just going to pour these into the cup and then just add cold water to rehydrate them, because it's just a little extra added for that recipe. Let those soak a bit and then we'll drain them. And mushrooms tend to rehydrate pretty quickly. Okay, set that aside. And the other thing we need for this recipe is milk, and we're about out of milk. So we're going to rehydrate both of these, and both of them combined need about 28 ounces of water. So I'll start out with them a little bit low, put the milk powder in it, and then fill it up to the 4-cup line for the 2 of these. And get the oxygen absorber out. Oh, and of course I could have just put the water right in here, and that would have saved me from missing that. And we'll get the other bag in there too. At least that one I remembered to powder. I didn't make sure I powdered the first bag properly. Uh-oh. So, you know, it was the big chunks that was right out of the freeze dryer, because these were earlier on before I was using the Ziploc and rolling pin. Okay, so don't forget to powder your milk first before you put it in the water. Okay, now we'll top it off with the last couple ounces of water that it's supposed to have. So now it's ready to use. For the recipe we're using, if you were going to use this to drink, I would want to make sure that it's completely lump free and dissolved. But for cooking, yeah, as long as it's close, it's gonna dissolve the rest of the way as it's heated, so not really worried about it at all. And it tastes just like milk, so good enough. Okay, so add the mushrooms in there now, all of them. And I already drained the hamburger, well, used a paper towel and got rid of the extra fat. And we did that. Now we'll stir in the hot water. Hey, was that hot water?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm about done with it because I'm not going to worry about the final product. It's Hamburger Helper. If people don't know Hamburger Helper, so help them. Anyway, I assume you know Hamburger Helper. The mushrooms are good. The hamburger's good. The milk is good. Everything's fine. So all the components are good. It's going to be Hamburger Helper after this.
Huh? Or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, about 10 minutes.
We definitely need to do a bunch of mushrooms because for recipes like this,
oh, yeah,
we almost never have them sitting in the refrigerator.
Yeah, exactly.
And we need to have reasonably measured amounts. I was thinking more like a cup or 2 cups. Get that up to a boil, turn it down to a simmer. You know the thing. We'll come back when it's done and double check it. So everything's done. The little mushroom pieces. And we'll definitely have to do more mushrooms because that comes out very nice. I don't think there's any way you could tell that they had been freeze-dried. Anyway, the ground beef part's fine. And of course the milk, saucy parts are just perfect. Anyway, there's not much to tell about it. It's Hamburger Helper. So what's there to say? There's no difference between these ingredients than the other except a little bit of prep. And the hamburger's actually faster. If we'd have known who's going to use it for this, I would have crumbled it up first before I rehydrated it. And that makes it even faster. And the mushroom bits, I think I would have just added just a very small amount of extra water in here and then just thrown them in there dry. There's no reason to rehydrate those ahead of time. And even the milk, I suppose, since you're going to heat it up anyway, don't use cold water, use warm water. It rehydrates faster also. So I think that's the only difference I would say, is that I could have sped all of these things up by either putting them in there dry or using warm water. Okay, that's it. That's good.
Okay.